Forbes India and CNBC-TV18 present Exotel, EngageX.
So you started your journey as contact center advisor in 1999, answering customer calls, right? And today you lead customer experience for one of the India's largest logistic brands. Looking back, what is it that you've carried since then, right? Is there some learnings from those formative years that you still keep with you on how to build customer trust?
Thanks, Gaurav. And firstly, you started by making me feel very old. 1999, a love story with Blue Dart that continues. Yes, of course, there were a lot of learnings. Actually, the days we joined, when we just started with the Blue Dart journey, the founders were very clear, you have to start from the scratch, no matter what your experience has been. And that really helped us build not only customers' trust, but learn through the journey of taking accountability, building that ownership, that I am responsible for that shipment, and looking forward to how can you resolve it at the earliest. So one thing I learned was you cannot solve a problem immediately. You might need to take time from the customer, but how do you keep the customer engaged? How do you keep him informed throughout that journey, the time it takes to deliver the shipment or whatever his query was? That was the most engaging time that we had with the customer. I think that was what built trust with the customer. That was my learning there.
Nice. So currently Blue Dart handles millions of delivery per day. But for the customer, right, it is one parcel and that is very, very precious to them. Now, customers today, on customer engagement, they expect something that is proactive, intelligent, and real time, rather than something that is just tracking of shipments. So when did you realize that this is not just an operational challenge, but has become a customer design challenge for you?
Gaurav, when we started, I think Blue Dart was at the forefront of technology. We were much ahead of the curve. We did have a lot of applications in place where, customers could get information on their own. We didn't have to give them information. But the journey then was shipment picked up, shipment delivered. Nothing in between that. But what changed was the e-com boom that came in, or the e-tail segment that came into play. I need all the information on the mobile. I have everything handy. And that's when the anxiety level started building in. Customers wanted more of predictive and information rather than, you telling them, okay, it will be delivered as per this time. So that built the anxiety. That brought in a lot of change that we had to build in. We had to do a lot of tailor-made programs for our customers. So earlier we did have applications that used to tell customer what's happening to their shipments. But this change brought in a lot of API integrations with the customers. There were a lot of tailor-made reports. Like I said, every customer wanted their piece of information to come in their manner. And a lot of such changes pushed us into the forefront of bringing in changes as required by the customer. So that was a big change for us.
Got it. And even the world is changing today a lot, right? So AI and automation, real-time communications, this is something that is changing the way you would probably engage with a customer 5 years back versus how you engage with them today. For you, how has that journey been? What has been the changes and learnings for you in last 5 years? And what would you say is something that was impossible probably 5 years back has been made possible now and you are able to achieve it?
So, Gaurav, even not going even 5 years back, I think when we started the journey, we wanted to put an IVR in place because having people handling calls has become a little bit of a difficult challenge because people do not like such type of a job nowadays. Although it's money making, whatever. So we started on the journey of putting an IVR. It took us 3 attempts to put the IVR because every time we wanted to even put a basic IVR, our customers would say, no, we want to hear a voice.
Which year was that?
That would be around 2002, 2003, the first journey that we started of the IVR. So we had to park it. And finally in 2006, after doing survey with the customer, going back and asking them, what is it that you would want on a Blue Dart IVR? They came back saying it's a bare minimum menu that we want. And that's how we built our IVR. So when we started on this journey of, the change making now from voice to a voice bot or even going to a chat bot, we had to really sit back and think whether there will be acceptance. We are not only dealing with shippers, We are dealing with sentiments, we carry emotions of our customers. So even if a shipper is giving it as a shipment, ultimately there would be something that is really critical for him to have it delivered to his consignee. We are responsible for that. So that's how we went into this journey. It was a little difficult for us initially because we were very reluctant, saying that are we doing the right thing? Would our customers accept it? But then when we took the step forward and we said, no, let's try it out. And we, of course, partnered with Exotel. The journey was seamless, and we are seeing a very good voice coming from customers saying they're happy that we have gone ahead and taken that step. So that was how the journey started.
So actually, if you can tell about a customer interaction probably that you had, uh, and I'm not talking about metrics or anything, but it is a personal interaction with a customer or a moment where you realized that the entire journey that you are taking, transformation journey that you are doing, uh, customer engagement layer, the way that you are changing it, it is having an impact, and that made you really happy.
So I would not talk about the journey now that we have taken with the bot, but a journey prior to that, I could talk about a COVID situation where I feel somewhere the human connect is very, very important. During COVID, we were being in essential services. We were working right from day one. We used to handle very critical shipments at that point of time. And there was one customer I still remember. She was in the northern part of India, and it was a patient for whom she had ordered some medicines. And there were interstate restrictions. People were not allowed to move. We were not allowed to cross borders. But the way our operations, our customer service, and our network team coordinated, we were able to deliver that shipment when the entry barrier was removed for certain hours. So it was pretty early in the morning when the entry barriers were opened up. We didn't cross the border, but we had our teams waiting on the other side, our team waiting on this side. We handed over the parcel, the shipment got delivered. Even today, when I think about it, I do get goosebumps. I get very emotional because what ultimately the customer said was, thank you for not disappearing on the excuse of COVID and delivering the shipment. It was for his mother. And that, I think, when I look back, there are many such instances that we have which connects, that human connect. Thank you very much. That human connect is very much required. I think AI will definitely help. AI will lead the way, but there has to be the human connect to ultimately look at the emotional part of it.
I can say that even I have some goosebumps now just listening to this story. Very touching one. Thanks a lot for sharing this. So moving ahead, right? Exotel has had the privilege of working closely with Blue Dart on some of these journeys and transformations that you've been working on, right? And one of the things that at least I have seen is that the technology, the challenge is really the technology itself, but it is about making this technology genuinely useful in the operational environment and making it work, right? From your side, what has the experience of working with technology partners actually looked like? What is the differentiator between a partnership that accelerates your work versus something that actually just adds complexity as a layer?
So for us, this journey has been a partnership. It's not a vendor and a Blue Dart relation that we looked at. Partnership, I said, because I think right at the beginning, the scope was very clear. Who has to implement what and by when? And what is it that Blue Dart is looking at achieving at the end of it? So that was very clear. There was good involvement right from our leadership. We partnered with Exotel, so we had Exotel partnering with us. We had Janvi, I think she's sitting here, Subir, who was here, along with my team, Seema, Elton, who have been really very critical aspects in implementing it. I think they looked at every aspect of how do we implement it without causing concerns to the customer. So it was a very seamless journey. Customer was at the center of everything that we did. We went phase-wise. So Exotel partnered with us. They had the patience because when we were not ready, we were very clear we are not ready. We want to have more testing to be done. We went to certain customers to looked at certain use cases. So that's how I think the journey went. We had certain deadlines and the deadlines were met. So there were no friction. See, ultimately, our objective was not reducing the human touch point there, but looking at how efficiently we can use the technology to play that role of simple queries getting handled through the bot. We wanted to optimize our resources, so our resources are now handling escalations. They are handling things that the bot cannot or may need more time to develop on. So that's how the journey has been very seamless. Now we are going to go ahead with the chatbot and the other options.
Got it. So, will you say that somewhere when both the parties work as partners and work on outcomes, then it works better?
Absolutely, it has to be that way because there has to be clarity and the scope has to be very clear for both. Both the service partners have to look at the same KPIs. That's what will make it successful.
Got it. And if I may ask, unless it is confidential, but in this entire transformation journey that you've taken, right? I believe that what we've been talking about, human in the loop, that has come to the forefront, and we've seen very clearly that it has freed up for humans to do something much more meaningful and as a supervisory role rather than a transaction role. So has that been the experience? How would you say that has changed the life of an agent in the floor?
So for the agent, I think they have more information for them. The intent of the caller is very clear. From the supervisor part of it, I'm sure Seema will agree with me. I think they have more time now doing quality work. A lot of our quality analysis is being done through the technology. And we are getting some ready reports. That's where their time gets saved. They're ready to handle the next assignment faster.
Perfect. So let's say if you have to look ahead 3 to 5 years, right? What do you believe will define for logistic companies the most important parameter for customer trust? What do you think it will be in the AI world that we are moving towards?
So I think in logistics, the human connect, like I said, will remain because ultimately it's a parcel or a shipment or an emotion that I'm going to deliver at some point of time. There are exceptions. It's a service industry. You need a human connect. I feel AI will evolve in logistics. There are a lot of things, especially at the operations end, which we are exploring. At the customer service end, we have already started with. I think this journey is going to go further. I would say AI will get more and more smarter and used in logistics. It will become definitely a superstar, but I feel that insaniyat or the human connect that has to be there will remain the blockbuster. So that's what I believe will continue.
Perfect. So that's a great place to end, where we talk about humans and the real superstars who will actually be running the show behind anything, right? Thanks a lot for your time, and it has been wonderful chatting with you. We'll see you around.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Forbes India and CNBC-TV18 present Exotel, EngageX.